Would you like to see a magic trick?
I love Sinister, more than I probably should. It was once rated the scariest movie ever by a scientific study. Somehow it got dethroned by that awful Host movie. Sinister delivered to me a scary movie that stood out from the others in a saturated genre at the moment. Obviously, one of the best parts of Sinister would be Ethan Hawke's performance. So when I was informed the director of Sinister, Scott Derrickson, was teaming up with Ethan Hawke again in the spooky movie genre, needless to say, I was excited. I got a pretty early screening and it was a sold out show, so there was a lot of excitement here. Did it deliver? Something you always have to disclose about these movies. They're just popcorn entertaining movies. I'm not giving this the same level of scrutiny I would give other films. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you just want to go to the movies and have a few spooks. In that department, I would say the movie succeeded. The Black Phone is about a kid with a sister who is bullied by some of his classmates. Meanwhile, his classmates start going missing from this child abductor named the Grabber, no, I'm not kidding, played by Ethan Hawke. Eventually, our kid Finney gets abducted by the Grabber and is locked in a basement and must find a way to get out. While he's trying to get out, his sister has supernatural dreams that helps the police narrow down where this basement is. I'd like to start with the positives, and the easiest one is Ethan Hawke is terrifying. He doesn't have too much to work with just because his face is completely covered this entire movie. So he has to do a lot of facial emoting. This movie only works if we are truly petrified of this villain, and I can tell you, we were. You could argue it's a little over the top at times, but Ethan Hawke was probably having just a grand old time with this role, and I think it fits. The main kid who plays Finney also is a great child actor. He has to cover a wide range of emotions, as the main point of this film is his arc. He is bullied early on and has a crush on a girl, and he's all awkward. And when trying to defeat Ethan Hawke's character, he is trying to grow into a man who stands up for himself. So he has to cover scared, awkwardness, courageous, and innocent all in this performance, and well, he did. The sister is a funny badass character and feels a little incomplete in the writing room, but her performance can't be knocked. If you are familiar with Sinister, the scares are similar, even a few Super 8 looking camera shots, which is always what I loved about Sinister. I did some research and had doubt it was actually Super 8 footage, and I was right. It was achieved some other way, I guess. Nothing groundbreaking or anything when it comes to the scare department, but still somewhat as effective as Sinister. I won't make this a spoiler, but the use of dead kids was an added bonus that, again, I loved in Sinister. At the end of the day, this to me is just a funny sister project of Sinister that is more based in reality, you know, besides the girl that has supernatural dreams. I do have a few complaints here. The dad's performance is borderline laughable. He plays this deadbeat drunk dad and it's just so over the top. He puts on this weird accent. It's just not working, my dude. His character is written very vanilla. He's just mad about something with his wife and they try to redeem his character a little bit. It's just not an interesting plot point, and he could be completely disinvited to the movie and it would run way smoother. I see why he is here though, and it's to give us some information, but there are some other ways this could have been achieved. Ethan Hawke's character felt a little incomplete. I don't think I'm missing much here, but they just kind of give him creepy props like this dank ass mask and these black balloons, but we don't really have a motive. I don't always need a motive from my villain, but when they hint and hint towards some motive the entire film and you don't get it, I'm slightly annoyed. There are lines and obviously some themes about the Black Phone and the basement, but I thought it would end up tying his character together at the end. I don't have any really deeper thoughts on the Black Phone besides I guess it just kind of resembles like empty hope. In Sinister, we were given enough info on Bagul and it added to the creepiness of the movie. I could see some people thinking I'm over exaggerating here, but it did annoy me. The score also annoyed me. Look, this movie does live in the 80s and feels and smells like the 80s. The tone just seemed inconsistent with what the movie was going for besides one Super 8 looking scene where I did enjoy it. I heard chuckles in the theater when the synthy 80s music started to play. Not to be a broken record, but the Sinister score was haunting and memorable. This one I already forgot. Here's a fun nitpick. They get a warrant on a house with like SWAT and everything over a girl's dream. It could have been an interesting plot point if it was explored in other ways when, you know, there could have been some private investigating. I'd give this like a high 6. It was a fairly entertaining spooky movie that doesn't really try to be anything it's not. It's really just a fun sister project to Sinister. Lars von Trier ranking next week. It's taken me about 2 months to make, so make it worth my time and go sub. Goodbye.